Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another reaction video. Today we are reacting to Krimh. Krimh? I have no idea how you pronounce that. I think he's originally from Austria. He lives, I don't know if he still lives in Vienna or I don't know. I live in Vienna, so that's why I heard him on the local scene, and then he got very famous and he played with bands like Decapitated and other death metal bands, which honestly I don't remember all of them, but there are a couple of drummers out there that have become very popular that are actually from Austria. So that's there's that. I got my Breyers peanut butter plant. What is it? It's peanut butter dairy free. Wow, never think I would go dairy free, but yeah, the time has come, I guess. So this is actually a brand new video. It literally came out a couple of minutes ago from me recording this video, so I'll hopefully try to get this online now. And I have not seen it yet, and I thought, what better chance than to get my reaction on this video? So without further ado, let's start the video. This is an Emperor song. So the Emperor is Ye Entrancemperium. I don't know what album it's from. I was never really a big Emperor fan, but I'm going to go listen to the original song after this. I really like what he's doing. That's called a skank beat. So it's classical Slayer 80s thrash metal, you know, where the one hand on the ride is going with 16th notes while 8th notes going alternating on the snare and the kick drum. That's trust me, by doing that on the snare as that fast and alternating between the kick drum and the snare, it's much on the ride, sorry, it's much harder than you think going that fast. Oh my god! Every time, I swear, every time I see blast beats, it's just one. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Krimh, I don't know if that's Krimh, whatever. I don't think he uses kick drum. What do you call it? Of course, he uses. He doesn't use triggers on his kick drum. I think he's made the point more than once to say that he just mics them, which is really impressive because you hear them and they don't sound, they sound like they got some sort of a trigger on them, but it doesn't. Modify this mic. There you go. Now, he's using the pedals that he's using. They're from a Polish company called Kazari Crypto, Kazari Cryptocurrency. They are your classic longboard. Actually, are they? Yeah, they are a longboard. They're direct drive pedals. So the pedals that actually started the direct drive craze was the Access, which I use the longboards from like 20 years ago. So it's the very, very old model. Sometimes things fall apart. You need to fine tune. But I think these ones are made in Poland because if I'm not mistaken, Krimh, he actually lives in Poland. He doesn't live in Austria anymore. At least I remember a couple of years ago he moved to Poland because he was playing with a Polish band. I don't know which one, not Behemoth. Actually, I'm looking in the bass drums, and I think you can see that there is a microphone in the bass drum, but I can't really tell from here. Now, one thing, I don't know if that's part of the song or not, but for example, you can see that during this blast beat where you have 16ths with your hand, and then also sixteenths alternating between one and the other on the kick drum and the snare. you notice that a lot of times it can happen that they just on the ride, instead of going sixteenths on the ride, they're going eighth notes, not 16, to just keep up with the snare. But you have to realize it's this blast beats can get that fast, can get tiring really quick. So I don't know. I've heard a lot of people saying, "Oh, you can't, you don't know how to play blast." No, no, that's absolutely not the case. I think that that's completely fine. I do it myself because do you realize how fast that is? It's like 6 billion BPM. So when you play that fast, it's okay if occasionally you're not consistent, you're not constant on the ride or even on the hi hat, because you have so much else going on. You have the guitars, you have the bass, the vocals, synthesizers, and all that. I mean, if you're a drummer, you can immediately hear it, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I want to see you sit. I want to see you sit down and play this song right now. Drum set over there. That's my drum set. Please don't come into my house. Oh, right there you see perfectly that he uses the swivel technique. So it's whenever your feet swivel from left to right while using it. I can't. It was so quick, I couldn't really tell. I don't know if this song has more parts where there's a more constant double bass, but yeah, by swiveling, you're using like left and right muscle groups in your leg. So actually, you can play double bass for longer. It's to relax your legs and stuff. Let me just turn this microphone up a little bit. Is that better? Good. Yeah. Okay, that's much faster. So, and he's going 16ths on that ride. It looks like his blast technique with his hands. It looks like he's using a lot of wrist. He's using finger, but then he's also using a lot of wrist. By the way, that tattoo on his shoulder it looks like a whale flying from a planet. That reminds me of the cover of Gojira from is it from Mars to Sirius? Amazing album. Love Gojira. Yeah, there you saw it. You saw very clearly. His feet were swiveling left and right. Okay, it seems that he's even using his legs. Now, when I play single strokes that fast, I used my whole leg. That's why I can only play them in short bursts, and then I pass out. So that's why I learned the double stroke roll on the double pedal. But that's a lot harder than you think. You need to have really good rebound coming back so that you can actually find a perfect middle to actually go fast enough. And by the swiveling left and right, it actually helps. I've tried to practice the swiveling left and right when I play the singles like that, but yeah, it doesn't. I can still get tired because I'm too fat. One thing I'm noticing about these pedals, it looks like they have two, like if you notice there, they have like where the actual beater sits in. It looks like there's two different modifications, one next to the other. Like you can modify probably just the pedal and then probably just the beater. You know what I don't like about that? I don't know if there's any engravings on that pedal, specifically because I've never seen them in person. But that can be a pain in the ass. I'll tell you why. Because you have two pedals, and they both have to be identical, or as identical as possible. Now you're going to have a stronger foot, and you're going to have your weaker foot. It's like that with all the drummers. In my case, I have my strong beater, so my strong foot beater is normal, and my weak beater, so my weak foot beater is a little bit more back. And the reason for that is because I need to use more power for the weak foot to try and keep up with the strong foot. So my main foot, which I'm left-handed, so it's the other way around. So my left foot, for example, is much more optimized for going fast, and then my the right foot, which is my weak foot, I need to push it more so that it actually is on the same level as my strong foot, which uses less energy and less everything. It's complicated. So when you have pedals like that you can modify everything and every little detail, and everything is round and smooth and all that. Another bad thing that can happen is that the things that slowly over time they move. So you could probably have that the beaters move back a little bit. I mean, depends on how hard you play. I play really hard. That's why I try to avoid as much as possible having parts that are round. That's nuts because he's just he's just hammering away. That's ridiculous. I think if I had to play single strokes for this long, it probably would have lasted like literally 6 seconds. Yeah, I never really practiced the single strokes as much as I wanted to ever since I discovered the double stroke rolls. So with double stroke rolls, I'm pretty much, I can play them slower, I can play them faster, much faster, and yeah, why not? That's another important thing right there. If you notice, I know that's because he's playing the hi-hat. No, but well, don't I look stupid? No, the thing about that is that it happens a lot of times that when you keep if you're using, he is using triggers. You can see him right there. Okay, I was looking on the bass drum, but I was talking about the pedals, and actually you see two cables, one from the left. If you look on the left, there's like a little yellow there's a black cable coming out. Let me see if I can point to it here. Up. Like right there. Follow that cable up to his main pedal. And you see on the other pedal here, right there is the other cable. Okay, these are like their triggers that actually go on the bottom under your pedal, and then it's actually pretty new. I don't know if Axis has them, but there are a couple of European manufacturers who actually have created these under pedal triggers. And I mean, drummers say they're more precise. Probably they are. I would never spend any money on that, and I'll tell you why. Because I play really hard, and I'm afraid I'm gonna destroy them. So if they cost a couple of €100 a piece, and I got 300-400 euros worth of these under pedal triggers, I'm afraid I'm gonna destroy them because I've actually broken the access pedals I think 2 times in places where the owner of this company even said, "I've never seen it happen before. You must really play really heavy." So if I'd use triggers, I'd always stick to the classic, probably D drum on the bass drum. So I guess, yeah, he's using triggers. All right, there, Krimh Lechner. I think that's his last name, Lechner. Now, just one thing. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with triggers. There absolutely is nothing wrong with triggers. So don't misconstrue what I said to make it part of your evil ways. Like, oh my God, he's saying triggers are bad. Triggers aren't bad. He's not cheating. Actually, triggers, you gotta be very precise with triggers because you can actually hear the bass drum, so you can't really hide it that well. So triggers is not. You want to know what cheating is? Not using triggers. When you play those complex bass drum patterns, not using triggers is cheating because you can hide your mistakes. With triggers, you can't. You hear every single tiny hit even if you. That's why I was mentioning the when his foot was off the pedal because he was playing the hi-hat. What I wanted to say was that it's off the pedal because if you keep your foot, because it happened to me a lot of times, when you keep it on the pedal and it touches up against the bass drum head, then a lot of times you actually get a false triggering and it sounds stupid. But that's actually there's nothing wrong with using triggers. It's actually interesting that he's using the same type of technique that I use when I blast, which is it's so finger, wrist. He's not really using the arm that much, but usually if you look at other drummers, for example, like Eugene Robyachenko, I never know how to pronounce his last name. He also, when he plays much faster, you see his arm going in and out. He calls it the bread cutter, sawing motion, like bread cutter or something like that. Because when you cut bread, you do this. It's the same thing about it's almost the same as playing the swivel, using different muscle groups so that the other muscle groups can relax for those like 2 seconds. You switch back, then you go from here, you go from there. But he's actually using fingers and wrist, whereas I think Eugene, he said when he plays much faster, he only uses fingers. They're both complicated. Wow. Yeah, that was, let's just say I'm not going to cover this song anytime soon. That's really, really complicated song, but yeah, he did it perfectly. I'm going to go listen to the original now after I'm done recording this because I'm curious to see how the other one sounds. But the thing is, I don't know if he actually has it doesn't really sound like he has the backing track. It almost sounds like he's playing over the actual original song. But it's so precise that, if you play it, 1-to-1, you cover the original drums. And that is much harder than making the cover yours. Because if you don't have the backing track and without the drums, then you have to play it identical. because you're gonna have just two different drum patterns on top of each other. So, yeah, freaking amazing video. I love that tattoo, the Gojira tattoo. That has to be. Can't imagine it's anything else. And amazing cover, amazing drummer, and yeah, check him out on. It says there Krimh, Krimh. You know, so he has his own YouTube channel. So that's it. So guys, thank you very much, and yeah, I'll see you in the next reaction video. How do I stop?